Hey, Craig, let's get into some coffee talk.
Hey, I love it. I love doing some coffee talk.
Well, talk about what?
Dogs, daughters, whatever. It's coffee talk.
Coffee talk.
Well, hello, Mr. Jason. It's another coffee talk.
Oh, hello, Mr. Craig. I actually do
Top
have
of the morning
a cup
to
of
you.
Joe. We were really good at that at first. There was coffee involved every single time, and now there's rarely coffee involved. And if it is, it's an empty cup or I don't know, something. Oh, Mr. Craig just ran to the back. Okay, well, it's the Jason show. No, so Craig and I were talking earlier about meetings, and I know we've harped on meetings a million times in the past, but we were actually talking about it here with my service team, and we were talking about it's just the same principles as we were going through, like how to structure the meetings and stuff. It's the same principles, and it's super simple. Like it always seems super complicated, like, oh, what are we going to talk about, or I don't know. It gets complex in the dome, right?
Yeah, it's a little ego
Craig,
jumping in, coming up with excuses.
Yeah.
I think it is. It's like, oh, well, I don't know what to talk about. Instead, just go in there. You'll know what to talk
The
about.
framework is so easy, right?
Yes.
That's what we talked about earlier in the elite group, was that it's so simple. Like you have problems, like take your team. You can do this on the service team, sales team, or anything.
Yeah.
What are the pain points? What's the hardest part of your day, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to communication with other people.
Yeah.
So on the service side, and we haven't really run consistent meetings on the service side, and we're about to run like every single day. And then the framework was so simple. It was basically, what are the hardest conversations you have? The hardest ones are, rate increase, or my payment, something problem with the payment, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So again, write those things down. Write them down.
Yeah.
Then you come up with let's come up with the ways to handle this. How does this sound? How does this sound? Coming up with the framework and then role playing those situations.
100%. And if you do it that way, where you say, look, hold your issues until the meeting, which is going to be tomorrow morning, right? It's always tomorrow morning. So hold those big issues, unless it's on fire, emergency, the world's going to end. Hold them until tomorrow. And then guess what? You're not in reactive mode all day, because you can't get anything done if you're reactive all day long, right?
No. God knows it.
Yeah. Well, and I had one of my staff, it knows all the systems probably better than anybody else. And so what happened? I've talked about it before, but she becomes our carrier Google, right? So anytime anybody has some little issue, instead of looking it up, instead of trying to figure it out, instead of problem solving for themselves, they go straight to her, or they did go straight to her. And I said, look, you say, I'm not solving any problems for you until the morning when you bring them to the meeting.
Right. Right. No,
guess
it's
what?
so funny you had that Google conversation. I had the exact same conversation.
Yeah.
Too.
I can't not pay the price of one human laborer to be the one that answers all the questions. Like, that doesn't create a return on investment.
Even if it saves
center.
time in that instant, that's what happens, right? They think, well, in this time, it's just easier to answer it. And as an owner, or agent in the office, doesn't matter what, like, you think it's just easier to answer it than to say, hey, just look it up. But it will save you so much time in the long run by costing you time in the immediate. And I think that's a good habit to train everybody. Dude, if you had a whole staff of critical thinkers that could solve any problems, dude, you guys are unstoppable.
Right. And you've helped me with some of my management, which is one of my least favorite things to do, is the human management portion of it. But because they come with it, I'm impatient. You just want to solve it, right? Because then you don't need to deal with it. But then it's inevitably going to come back up again and continue to come back up again, because you're the crutch, right? You're the one that I can't quite remember. I'll go ask again. So then you're interrupted. So it's simple. They can say, hey, how do I do the blah, blah, blah? And you go, well, how do you think you do the blah, blah, blah? Right? You kind of scratch your head. Well, what do you think you should do in that situation? And then they say the answer. It's like they're almost afraid to make a mistake. And a lot of people are just scared to, it becomes the excuse for not doing things is I was scared I was going to mess up. So I wanted to do it right. But you're actually messing up by asking how to do it every single time because it's slowing down. It's the bottleneck. That's the bottleneck of the entire operation.
And it usually is. And I would say most offices, it starts that way, right? As you grow and stuff, it starts that way. And it's funny. And this just goes in business in general. I would say that the higher view that you can view everything, everybody's in the weeds. You know, when you first start, you're in the weeds, like you're handling everything. Yeah. And you're making decisions based on that lower level. And the higher you can see the viewpoint of everything, the better decisions you can make for the future. Right. You're not making those immediate 5-minute decisions. Okay, this is going to save me time right now. This is going to save, like, you're making the decisions. This is going to save me time within the next year. This is going to, then you can really set that GPS and be able to put the pawns in the right place and build it to become, take those steps to become what you want to become.
100%. You can't become the visionary if you're down in those weeds. Right? Because that's what you'll do all day long. And it perpetuates, it steamrolls, and that thing gets momentum instead of the actual forward progress of the entire operation.
Right. Yeah. And it's good. I mean, even if there's a lot of insurance dudes out there that maybe they don't want to grow a big agency. Maybe they just want to have like a small team, which is super cool. Like that's super fun when you have like just a couple people, you guys are rocking it. You're making a good living and you get to talk to clients one-on-one. So you get to hang out, right? You get to hang out with a couple of, and I love that. And that's fun. You don't want to be like that position can be super stressful because you can get into those times where you work 12-hour days. If you're in a smaller office and you feel stressed and stuff, these kind of things can help you save time and eliminate having to work the 12-hour days. Because I think there's two motivations with insurance dudes. One is to make a ton of money, right? Or to grow or something like that. Then the other motivation might be to save time or to have the flexibility to do what you want. And if you have that flexibility to do what you want, you have to set it up to get that. And that's where creating the systems where everybody kind of, even if it's a small team, that they're problem solving on their own and stuff, so that if you're not there, you're not getting blown up and everything else. So it doesn't really matter the size of the team.
Yeah. So there's
a period in the last 12 years where you were kind of cruising, right? I mean, what a great industry to be able to do that. And you loved it then, right?
Sure. Yeah. But I love it now too. This is way more fun. Way more fun.
But I think that and here's another thing that I've talked to dudes about, because I'm newer in the industry, is that there's a period in time where you do go through those like massive growth periods, but there's some time that you don't. It's not 100% sustainable to do that, nor is it completely fun. I mean, maybe it is 100% sustainable, but I would say maybe not for everyone. It's kind of like working out, right? Like there's no way you're going to work out every single day for the rest of your life until you die. But you kind of go through the ebbs and flows of getting into that routine.
Sure. And that's why it's important. You could say it's really, I don't mind it. I think it's fun. I love being involved in all the little stuff. The challenge with that is if the systems and processes aren't in place, you won't be able to pull back, because then you're the hub of the entire operation. So those systems and processes have to be in place. It's fine if you can come in do your stuff, do reviews, do whatever, right? Be involved. That's fine. Great. Have fun with that. But if you want to be able to take off and go to Cabo for a month, then it's going to be really challenging. And I've seen the agents that go and do that, but they have the phone attached to them and they have their email on the phone and they're answering clients. And I mean, come on, you got to unplug because you will burn out. That's a recipe for burnout.
Yeah. And I think going back to the original meetings really just help keep everybody on the same page and just, it's like the glue in the, well, maybe it's not the glue of the engine, but it's definitely the nuts and bolts that keep the engine together.
What kind of engine do you have where you're using glue?
I don't know. A very poor one.
Yeah. You don't want that.
No, that would be bad.
But it is the nuts and bolts. And those meetings, a lot of people dislike meetings because it's a big waste of time. It's blah, you're just not doing anything.
Bingo.
In that. You can't make it a waste of time.
Number one objection.
Right. Because it's
so
not
what's
being...
that? So Craig, I don't want to do meetings. I mean, 30 minutes. I mean, let's say I have a staff of 4. That's quantify that into 2 hours a day of wasted time. There's no way I'm going to spend that money and have 4 hours of wasted time a day.
Okay. Yeah. And Jason, so on a regular day-to-day basis, how often do people come to you and ask you questions about how to do things?
I mean, yeah, they do that. They come.
And so does that interrupt you or is that what you were waiting for?
It does take time.
Yeah. So if we can iron out those speed bumps prior to them coming to you and interrupting all day, then maybe you'd be more effective with the higher level, $250 to $500 an hour tasks instead of just answering something that could be looked up.
Right. Yep.
And so it all goes back to that process, the framework. What do you have in the office? Is there a manual? Do people know how to do things? What happens if you're not there? I've been in the situation where the internet went down. Nobody knew how to do anything. They sat there and then you get a call 2 hours later. Well, the internet's been down all morning. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody knew how to do anything. We need a Google sheet that walks through exactly what to do in the case that internet goes down and they can search it in the drive. They find it, they fix it. Right. Cause that's something that there should be no
down, Craig. You can't go on drive.
Oh, use your phone.
I didn't even think of that. And the other effects of it too is it can be so mundane your days. It really does help. I mean, everybody gets the vent. You get to hear about what everybody's doing. You get to, be held accountable, ask everybody, what projects they're working on. Were you able to complete those tasks? Even just talking about that makes you hold yourself accountable to it. It becomes real when you say, if I said to you, I'm going to try to sell 300,000 next month, then all of a sudden I'm going to start thinking like I'll be doing that. And as soon as I want to back off or something, I'll be thinking, oh man, I already said it. Like I said, I was going to do it. I got to do it, or whatever it may be. But it becomes real when you verbalize it, I think, especially to somebody else.
Yeah. And then you're constantly moving towards that goal, right?
You're moving the needle.
Move the needle. I think so many times, again, it goes back to reactive. You solve the problem. It's solved immediately, right? So a lot of the things that we do that are going to help us get the best results and move us towards this, the bigger picture goals that we have don't happen instantly, right? Buying leads, pushing them through your telefunnel. The lead I buy today, I'm not going to see big movement for 2 weeks. We'll sell some of them, right? We're going to sell onesies, twosies here and there, but the big movement isn't going to be for 2 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. Right? The bulk of it's on the backside. And so same thing with the meeting. If everybody's struggling with, I need to talk to my spouse as an objection, and you try to solve it right that second, you don't consistently coach on that, it's never really going to take. So we could practice that for the next week, 2 weeks. And then all of a sudden, long term, this is a no brainer. I need to talk to my spouse. What questions would your spouse have if if you were going to go talk to her. Right? Having the right response in the right tempo, just a boom. But that doesn't come naturally. Right? These things require repetition.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yep. So here's something fun. I know we've been bringing up so I think that's a coffee talk, by the way. But we've been bringing up the phone number, right? Text us at 520-214-2219. Again, that's 520-214-2219. But here's what's interesting. Text us questions and stuff to talk about on the next coffee talk. It's like I have it up right here. Brian Hess texted us, Clay Reiser, Peter O'Neill, awesome stuff. Adam Bamford. Please, guys, shoot us questions. Text us. Like we want to connect. This is a fun way to do it. If you have any questions, any topics that you would want us to hear us blabble about, blabble.
I like blabble.
Then, yeah, just hit it. You got to text us. Come on. We're starting to get a pretty good texting community, and you'll hear directly from me and Craig. Mm-hmm. It'll be fun.
Yep. Then Jason will bug me and say, "You're never responding."
Yeah.
You're ghosting them. I'm just kidding, Mr. Jason.
That's true. I probably would. If you went weeks without answering it, I'd probably.
Well, it's this newfangled technology, I tell you.
Here's another, since you stuck around for this entire conversation, I want to let you all know Craig and I hung out the other day. And fun fact to Craig, he doesn't wear shoes.
Nah. Mm-mm.
Just sandals.
Flip-flops.
Flip-flops.
You can take them off on the beach and jump in the water quicker, so you can't think about it.
Right. And so in Arizona, you could, I mean, that's a big jump.
It is. Well, yeah, I'm not jumping in the water here, my pool. But
you might want to wear tennis shoes if you're going to be running all the way down to the beach.
Well, you have to trick yourself because you get to the beach and then it's cold, and then the water's even colder. You got to kick those things off and just dive in. And I just run out there and dive in, and it had to be in the low 60s this weekend in Newport.
I can't do it. I'll be totally honest. I'm the biggest water wuss on the planet. I need it 90 degrees. 80, too cold.
Can't go to Hawaii anymore. It's all shut down. Canceled the fourth flight to good old Kauai.
Why?
The vi.
What vi?
The vi. I have the antibodies. I didn't even know I was sick.
Look at that. You lucky guy, you.
Yeah. But I did
got
quarantine.
The antibodies without. Yeah. Well, that's
sounds like a coffee talk to me. We'll see you guys. And don't forget, you can search it up. If you're on whatever thing you're on, you can search up the Teledudes podcast, where we have some really, really cool insights into building a telefunnel. If you want to work internet leads, that's the game to play, is to create your own telefunnel.
Yep.
What did the stats say? Dials 8 to 21 are 68% of the leads that we closed.
Right. And what's cool about that one, we didn't want to do it on this podcast, but that one we go in depth on everything that we've learned from over at this point on today, over 11 million dials. So we got a lot of, we're just learning stuff left and right from all this. And we put together a really cool thing in our group, and we're doing the elite meetings nonstop. So we're learning tons. So we're putting all that stuff on the podcast to throw it out there into the universe.
Yeah. And there's a YouTube channel. If you're listening on audio, you go to the YouTubes and search up just the Insurance Dudes. We come right up. You can see Jason and I think there's one that's going to have both of us there, maybe. Or did we just go live? Who knows? But
I don't even know anymore. I don't know. Yeah. I don't even know what's happening.
If you go and subscribe to that YouTube channel right now and you watch this video, you'll see that Jason is wearing flannel like he's Kurt Cobain.
That's
For
right.
you kids out there, that was a singer of a band back in the 90s.
I do have cargo shorts on, a T-shirt, and an open flannel and a backward.
Show them the cargo shorts. Can you do that? Can we see that on the camera? Don't fall. Look at that. Look at those
Like
cargo
those legs?
shorts. That's nice. Very nice. You had the cargo. You're rocking. You're bringing them back.
Yes.
I'm considering
And it works
investing
because
in
the
some
lower
cargo shorts.
pockets are good for the masks.
Can
so you
we
throw
make
the mask
Oh, throw the masks in there. I use a bandana. Do you think that we could make insurance dudes cargo shorts?
No, but we can make masks
Eh.
with our lower half of our face.
If you're interested in that, put in the comments that you want one of those masks.
I'll make it happen.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week. That's a coffee talk.
That's a coffee talk.
Hey, Jason.
Yes, Mr. Craig.
That was another awesome episode, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if people want to get a little bit more action and learn how to do write 100,000 in premium off of even the worst internet leads, where could they go?
They can go to live.teledudes.com.
Ooh, that sounds exciting. Are we going to be there?
Yes, it's a weekly call that we're doing right now it's live, and it will show you the process. The entire process is super awesome.
I love it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Sign up right now, live.teledudes.com.
Live.teledudes.com. That's live.teledudes.com.
Hey, Craig, there's a new community that we are starting that I cannot wait to tell everybody about. It is our live texting community where you and I are going to answer people's questions and give them free content, right?
Are you kidding me? We get to talk to them?
Yeah, which is awesome, but they have to opt in. They have to text us at 520-214-2219. That's 520-214-2219.
Nice.
Craig, are you going to respond to these texts?
I'm going to respond to them for sure. Live.
I'm into it too. It's going to be awesome. And it's going to be our new texting community where we're going to get back to everybody that we can and drop some crazy content, free content, and free the calculator that you just came up with. That's right. The calling calculator, sales material. I mean, everything for insurance agents. This is it. It's the best texting community out there for insurance agents.
Well, what the heck is that number again? I can't remember it.
It's 520-214-2219. That's 520-214-2219.
I love it. I'm going to text it right now.
520-214-2219.
All right. I'll see you later, Mr. Jason.
Bye, Mr. Craig.
Wait, do they even listen to this on the radio anymore?
I love it. I love it.
Nice.